Hello. Okay, so I'm coming on again to share just messages that come through for me that you may need to hear yourself, and just anything that I'm currently going through, and I want you to also know. So, something that came up today was a saying, and the saying was something along the lines of a bird that's sitting on a branch that isn't afraid if the branch is going to break because it knows that it has wings to fly off of the branch to carry it away. And as humans, we do sometimes forget that we are not in control of a lot of aspects in our life. So something that I've done, and this is something that takes time. I want you all to understand that I've been practicing consistently for 6 years. It has been a mindset change. It has been something that I have consciously taken upon myself to instill, in my daily life because life can get really tough. And in those tough situations, you need to know how to handle yourself and your environment and those around you so that it isn't detrimental to your well being. And it was through pain and hurt and lessons that I had to learn how to handle situations and also how to just be in my life. Because there's another saying that in order for your life to change, you must change. So, something about your environment. If you are in an environment that is not conducive to your well being, the only person that can change that is you. So, you need to change in order for your environment to change, and you then need to remove yourself from the environment if you are able to, or you need to just change who you are if there are certain people in the environment that are not very nice, then you need to decide, okay, I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to be this way instead. And if they don't like that, that's a reflection on them. It's their the word um projection. So if someone has an issue with you, it's not your issue, it's their issue. They are dealing with something and they don't like how you are behaving. So if you start changing and someone doesn't like how you're changing, that's their problem. And something someone also said once was, it's so funny how people say you've changed instead of you've grown. And that's something that stuck with me for so long. But to basically go back to the control and how we don't have control over certain aspects of our life. When everything was unraveling in my life, literally just, it was a tower moment where everything was crumbling. I was trying to control the situations and I was swimming against the current. So therefore, if you are always fighting, there's something wrong. And then you have to look at the root of it. So you're not going to grow beautiful flowers if there's weeds that are growing around the flower and you literally just cutting the weeds. You need to pull the weed so that the root of the weed comes out. So when I was going through this swimming against the current, I actually realized and I took a step back and I tried to look at it from a different perspective. Why do I feel like I'm battling? Why do I feel like I'm fighting? Why do I feel like just it's this like backlash towards me? And that's when I realized I actually don't have any control over the situation. So if I actually just surrender to what's happening around me, then it will unfold as it should. So, yes, there are going to be times where it unfolds and it's like, holy, like what? But you see the bigger picture a little bit later on and you're like, oh my gosh, that's why. But I want you to understand that if there's something that's happening in your life at the moment that you feel like you're just facing these constant fires that you're trying to put out, Just look, Matthew McConaughey said that he actually, when he was going through something similar, where he just kept like putting out fires, he actually just thought, no, I'm actually just going to let that go because it's not worth it. So if you are dealing with something in your life currently that you feel that that's the situation, try to surrender a little bit, as difficult as it is, because I'm not saying that it's easy. None of this is easy. And I think that's also a misconception that a lot of people believe, is that, you just stay positive and you are meditating and you are dancing and you are grounding yourself, but it's it's a consistency that you keep, and it's a discipline that you maintain in order to face these things with a little bit more grace and a little bit more confidence and a little bit more ease. So I always go back to the analogy of children and how, when they are learning to do something, so if a child is learning how to ride a bicycle and they fall off the bicycle, they get back on the bicycle and it gets better and better every single time. So you need to understand that it's going to be difficult in the beginning, but as you progress and as you decide that you would like to continue down this path, then things will become easier. There are going to be times where it's not easy, and there's going to be times where it is easy. And I think that it's life, right? People think that it's just either amazing or you're just in the shit of it. But you're constantly going to go through those things. Every single one of us human beings are constantly having a high and having a low. But it's how you handle yourself and how you start seeing the world around you in order for you to truly appreciate just how blessed we are to be living this incredible life with everything that it brings. And there's just so many beliefs, I'm not going to go into that. And, religion and politics, and because then it can become quite an argument. But I I'm here to enjoy the ride. So the roller coaster is going to be frightening when it does a loop de loop, but then when it goes all the way down, you're screaming and you're like, yeah, and then it stops and you're like, ugh. So just start trying to see life in that way. And when you are in the thick of it, right? Because we get in the thick of it and our egos come in. So what happens is when you change, I go back to, in order for your life to change, you must change. When you change, your ego does not like that. Your ego is used to comfortability. So it's used to doing the same things, being around the same people, completing the same cycles. But when you start changing and shifting, your ego is like, whoa, what? No, I'm not comfortable with this. And that's what starts happening in here. That's when you start hearing those voices of doubt and fear and, oh, can I do this? Am I ready? Should I? Now, it's a practice, it's an acknowledgement of that ego. And you say to yourself, actually, no, ego, I do have this and I have no clue what's going to happen, but I'm going to do it. And I watched a movie the other day with Mason. What was the movie? Miraculous, with the ladybug. And the most powerful emotion that literally can withstand anything, fear, anger, hatred, is love. So if we can live in love, with love, for love, to love, that's when the ego starts to become a little bit less and less and less. And when you truly embody love in yourself and for those around you, that's when things start to shift. And when things start to shift, it is so uncomfortable. But again, if you practice and if you're consistent, and I say consistent, it's, you're not going to go to the gym, right? You're not going to go and pick up 100 kgs the first day. And then the next day, you're like, oh, no, I'm like too sore. And then the next day, you do like 20. And then, that's not consistency. And if you take gym and your body and how your body changes, the body changes over a period of time. It progressively gets stronger, toned, all those things. Now you need to do the same with your mind. You need to consistently train your mind to alter the way that you have been programmed. And something that I have become very masterful in is to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And that is in itself an art form. So I just looked at the time and it was 11:11. So I wanted to come on here, and whatever I'm saying is truly, so some people you would believe get downloads, which is what I get all the time. So when you pray, when you meditate, it's that voice, it's those messages, it's things that just a song that comes into your mind. Those are downloads. When you're watching a movie and there's something in the movie that like speaks to you, when someone's having a conversation with you and they say something and they're like, whoa, that resonated so much with me, that's a download. So some would call them downloads, some would call them connecting to source, to God, to the universe, to the creator, to your angels, to whoever. Now, when I'm speaking, that's what's happening is I am allowing myself to just speak. I'm not thinking, I'm just sharing. So some people do it through tarot where they receive messages. Some people do scribbling where they scribble and then the messages come through. I am just sitting peacefully and allowing whatever needs to come through to come through. And I don't want to make these videos too long because I do want you to just get little glimpses. And I have so much to share with everybody. And I'm trying to figure out how to share it. And I've been guided up until this point as to what to do, how to do it. And I'm just following where it's going. Again, like just allowing things to flow and just be. Because at the end of the day, I've surrendered completely. I got to a stage where I had nothing. And I say nothing. No job, no income, no materialistic things, nowhere to live. And I had to surrender because there was nothing else that I could physically do to, like, I'd done everything that I thought possible to better the situation. And it was so out of my control because this is my story. This is how it was supposed to unfold so that I can share it. Now, through those periods and cycles and me becoming who I have become. Now, let me tell you that I ascended 1,000 years in 1 year because of what I've done, what I've learned, what I've integrated in my life, and what I've continued to cultivate. Now, with that being said, I have so much to share and to give, but there's only so many ways for me to do it. And I want to start by connecting with those that feel they come across me, they feel like they are enjoying my energy. I will get to the stage where you will see me completely in my full light. But I just want to start somewhere, and this is how I'm being guided to do so. So with that, the biggest thing is control, letting it go, surrendering, stop swimming against the current, putting out those fires. There is a reason the universe is showing it to you, and you keep getting the same message because you are not learning the lesson. Then it's about consistency. It's about showing up for yourself. You have to do the work. No one else is going to do it. I choose to wake up early, to meditate, to do yoga, to do my practices before I start my day because that's how it aligns with me. I choose to do this on a daily basis because I've seen what it's done for me in my life, and it's changed my life completely. So I just, yeah, it's the consistency, it's the control, and I need you to understand that those wings that you have and everything that you've been through, you are still standing here right now because of the strength that you have accumulated to be here. And the energies at the moment are haywire, and there's a reason for it. And I will get into that in other videos, but you need to understand that everything that you've been through, everything that you've become, is because you have a calling, you have a bigger purpose. That ego voice that keeps telling you that you can't, that ego voice that keeps telling you that you shouldn't, that ego voice that keeps dimming you, you need to try to cut it out. Learn to control it so that it doesn't control you. And I think, you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start because this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a cup of coffee with you, and you can make yourself a hot drink, a cold drink, whatever drink, water, no drink, and just sit, and I'm going to talk to you. It's going to be a one-sided conversation because I can't hear you, but I want to learn more about everyone else. And I want to create a world where we live in love, with love, for love, because that is the energy that we should be living in. And we've been programmed to not live in that state. And when we all live in that state, we are going to live in what most would say is heaven on earth. So grab your drink for the next video, and I'm going to stop it here because I don't want to go over 20 minutes, but it's just, I need you to start understanding how much of an impact you have on this earth because we are all connected. In some religions, they would say it's brothers and sisters. And in spirituality, they would say that our souls are connected. We are one. So if you can start seeing that, that's the first step. So I really, really appreciate you, and I honor you because you're on your journey and I'm on my journey, and let's just be on this exciting roller coaster together. Whoa. Okay. But that's what I'm going to stop at. There's so much more, but just understand that whatever I have accumulated, I will share with you. And I hope it's received well. And if it isn't received well, then I love you still. And I hope that you are having the best day. But with that, okay. Bye.